Alright, so Jeskai control in general in the format has fallen out of favor a little bit in terms of Esper since Ravnica Allegiance was printed. This was a fringe format staple, or a fringe format player in the previous set. There were a lot of previous iterations of Jeskai. This build specifically is leaning on the card Azure Gateway to eventually make a pile of mana in combination with things like Banefire, Electrodominance, and Expansion Explosion to burn the opponent out. You can also theoretically ult your Teferi as a win condition, but mostly we look to control the game with our interactive elements and then eventually burn the opponent out with Expansion Explosion. Let's go ahead and pop on into a constructed league here and see how things go for us. There was an iteration of what people have referred to as Adrian Sullivan Jeskai, did top 8 the Grand Prix in Japan, I believe. That's the Niv-Mizzet treasure map version, a little bit more aggressive than this. Little Stabby, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I'm going to keep this on the plate. Seems pretty good. A couple Ionizes, gonna seal away in case they're aggro. I'm actually gonna play the Hallowed Fountain tapped here. If they are red aggro, there's a pretty low chance that they play a haste creature on 2, and I definitely want to just get this Shockland into play tap so I can hold up Ionize without hurting myself. Doc Bravo Star, thank you for the 3-month resub. I appreciate the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, looks like some kind of weird red aggro. Looks a little strange. Hey, Crit Fall. Thanks for the biddies. Hope you're having a good one. That is a Goblin Gathering. I guess. That can resolve. This Cleansing Nova hidden mode game, I think it is. By friends. Sure, I understand the text box on the card, Little Staffy, but you didn't answer any of the questions that I asked in the post there. Like, what problem do you think this deck has that it addresses? What card do we replace? Why do we replace that card? Like, there's always a ton of good. There's always a ton of good cards that can fit in every deck in Magic, right? Like, there's infinite combinations of cards in this game, but you need to kind of have a reason for why you're playing the things you're playing. Wow, we got super punished for firing off the Cleansing Nova when we did, huh? Unreasonably punished. Hey, thanks for the ad bits, Winding Road. I was gonna say Flame of Keld, Experimental Frenzy, not quite a combo. Their Experimental Frenzy is not working out so hot for them at the moment, so that's good for us, I guess. This does 4. This does 4. Howdy, Century. Thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. And this is a great example of why Esper Control has kind of become the stock Esper Control deck, right? This is a format with a lot of premium enchantments in it, including Experimental Frenzy among others, and we are just Gonna have a real bad time here because we can't take this card off the table. We have 2 copies of Cleansing Nova and then eventually Teferi. And by the time we find one of those, they're gonna have a bunch of cards in their hand with which to kill us with. Yeah, that's true too. Imagine if the Ionizes had been absorbed. We'd be at 11. It's like boarding in all the creatures. I might just be boarding in all the creatures here. Doesn't seem unreasonable. Precog's a little slow. Give this a try. I'm doing alright, Big Mama. Negates for the frenzies. Now, I think I'd rather just have more enchantment removal. And I think I'd rather prioritize Ionize before Negate. I don't even think I want all the Ionize. So a card like Demystify is too narrow. It's definitely too narrow for main deck inclusion. And post-board, I think I'd much rather have a card like Invoke the Divine here. That's not only more flexible, but gains us life in these red matchups. It is worth noting that last season, even when Jeskai was kind of the default best control deck, this iteration wasn't particularly popular. It was the builds that tended to have more win conditions that were successful on average. Things like the Adrian Sullivan iteration that just top 8 of the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm gonna go ahead and invoke this. So it doesn't get to trigger again. Next turn we get to Deafening Clarion. Thanks for the great content. Bump Carlos Eldrazi for me. Will do, Beeve. Thanks for the very generous tier 3 resub. Welcome back. Noddle, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Sure. My dome has been struck. I finished my 20th league with JAC today and ended up 58 and 42 in matches, so close to 3 and 2. Hey, just shy of 60% win rate is not shabby. So it's like, do I Clarion and save myself the hit next turn, or do I like wait and try and get more value out of this card? It's like, it's my last resource, so maybe I'm supposed to wait and try and get more value out of it. Well, at least I get to do this. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. And you want to see some just desserts? They binned Fight with Fire off this Flame of Keld. They binned Fight with Fire off the Flame of Keld. 5/5 flying creatures. Let's go. Let's go. This game did a 180 real quick there. And again, like, this kind of highlights why having win conditions in your Jeskai deck is really good. Really want to draw a card that draws cards here. That doesn't do it. Yes, I guess we just attack them to 5, right? If they draw a land, they can kill one of my creatures, but if they don't draw a land, they can't, and both my creatures are lethal, so this is fine. We did not play a party bus deck today. Great. Turns out coffee's for closers, and Niv-Mizzet's getting himself a cup of joe. God, rid it back. Having ways to win the game confirmed good. And that's just, you know, there's so many threats in this format, is being able to close like that means you don't have to answer everything. You can just, like, kill their stuff. That's true, that's true. Lyra punched the clock and went to work there as well. I'm gonna keep this on the draw. Enchantment removal, triple sweeper. Let's draw a couple of lands. The earlier you win, the less cards you draw. That's just factually correct. Land. I agree with that, Suskind. Land. Gotta be more specific, Hogland. Gotta be more specific. It is good television, you're not wrong. Rekindling Phoenix is the answer to your question, Gorks. Rekindling Phoenix is just an incredibly powerful card, especially when it's paired with any amount of aggression. Wow, that's an aggressive flame. They have Lava Coil and Fight with Fire in their deck. What if we told you to invoke yourself? They need to draw, like... They needed to draw their, what's it called that turn? Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they left Flame of Keldin post board. That the first time an expansion has ever been cast on a Goblin Gathering, quite possibly. Trade Z's. I mean, their thing dealt 2 points of damage, so they got that going for them. I think I'm supposed to let that happen and just Clarion. This gives my opponent a one-turn window where they can draw Experimental Frenzy and run us down, but I definitely don't want to burn Ionize. Deal. Clarion, my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are gone. Lay your weary head to rest. Bomb Squad Mike, press. Yeah, I was trying to work the sub name in there and it just didn't work out. Thanks for the prime Bob Squad Mike. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Waiting for a Lyra or a Niv-Mizzet. I guess we're actually, like, infinitely far away from casting Niv, huh? There's 2 planes in play. I don't think we're solidly in garbage time here. Without a way to close and no Teferi, I think we still kind of have a game. Like, if they draw Experimental Frenzy here, I get dumpstered. Flame Account's pretty good, too. They get to draw 3 and they do a ton of damage. Well, I hope you stay safe out there, Mike. Thanks for being here. We have an Ionize. We have an Ionize to stop 1 burn spell next turn. Maybe I probably just take the hit. I really feel like Experimental Frenzy is like the only thing I care about at this point. I just want to make sure that doesn't happen. We do have Niv mana now. That's a good observation. Get rid of these real quick. And the Expansion Explosion is actually a decent pickup here since I have 8 lands. So, like, now, not this turn, but next turn, I can go ahead and pop this off. I think I actually just let this happen. And I take 1 here, and then next turn I'm going to Explosion this. I, like, just need to fade the Frenzy still like we have been wanting to fade. I think because I didn't draw a land for the turn, I'm actually going to go ahead and do this now so I can try and draw a land. Fantastical. Next turn we get to play Niv-Mizzet while holding up Ionize. This should be solidly garbage time at this point, since we have a way to actually win the game in play. Yeah, Niv not only beats Frenzy on his own, most likely, but I have the Ionize up still. Are they dead this turn? I don't know if they're dead to this Banefire, but I'm gonna go ahead and kill their stuff. Man, Lyra and Niv, they're like the Jeskai power couple here, huh? Like, let me show you what's up. This is the squad. So, Ionize doesn't counter the Banefire, but it does still trigger Niv, and it deals 2 damage to them. And then, this Banefire is super lethal. Niv would prefer not to get his hands directly dirty. Second Lyra for the rub-ins, yep. How are we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping by here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, sometimes even 50 hours a week. If you're someone who enjoys standard best of 3 constructed, this is definitely a channel for you. We play a ton of different decks here, and we usually change decks every 60 to 90 minutes, so you get a lot of variety. As always, I'd like to give a shout out to my wonderful subscribers. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support, so big thanks to all of them. I'd also like to plug a couple of my wonderful sponsors here really quick. Quip provides wonderful, affordable, quality electric toothbrushes. If you head on over to bit.ly/HugoQuip, you can get your first refill kit of an extra brush head, battery, and toothpaste with them for free. And if you sign in using your Twitch account when you purchase through that link, I'm going to let you bump a deck in my deck queue by 25 points for free as a thank you for checking out the sponsor. BCW Supplies are the only ones I trust to protect my very valuable paper, Magic the Gathering cards. Using code Jeff10 at bcwsupplies.com, you can save 10% on sleeves, binders, deck box, and all sorts of other fantastic gaming accessories with them. Cardsphere.com will love to help you turn your cards into other cards directed to the players. There's no haggling, and they just take a 1% fee off the top. And of course, InkedGaming.com will love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of custom artwork that they already have on their website. If you're someone who's new and you're enjoying the content, you like the variety of decks or the way I break down my lines and such, be sure to hit that follow button as well. Following the stream doesn't cost you anything, and it'll let you know when I go live and with what. Seems reasonable. If our opponent's playing something where these don't have text, it could be kind of medium, but we'll see. So hoping for not Esper. Azure Gateway, it's actually a card that's really good for the reason I just talked about. So I just mentioned there's matches where these cards don't have text boxes, and Azure Gateway lets us draw and then tuck cards underneath it. So in matches where this card's not going to be, cards aren't going to be useful, the Gateway lets us kind of filter through those. Mr. Tumac, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. This deck seems really reasonable when you sideboard into normal Jeskai control. That's probably a good takeaway. There did a more traditional Jeskai deck with more win conditions like Niv-Mizzet in the main deck did just top 8 the Grand Prix in Japan. Looking for a land here. Elevator going up. Seal Away is a phenomenal draw here, because it means that they have another haste threat that's not like Groll Spellbreaker will be able to seal it up. Hey, look, a big scary Carnage Tyrant. I don't know how we'll ever beat that one, chat. It's got hexproof and can't be counterspelled. How could we ever possibly hope to win the game? Good thing I packed my 3-mana Wrath of God in my lunchbox today. God bless you, Teferi, making 2 mana every turn. So, last match, we kind of struggled to make it into what we refer to as garbage time, where we're just, like, solidly ahead but haven't won yet. Teferi means that we're gonna be there real quick. Strictly worse, Kaya's Wrath. Get out of here.
Hurry.
So this thing flips when there's 5 different costs under it, or 4? Or 5 different converted mana costs under it. Aw, he's got haste, chat. He's adorable. Come seal away. Come seal away. Come seal away with me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I'm not done yet. This card's really good at filtering through lands. Teferi Ultimates next turn. Sure.
Turn of the clock, your reality will crumble.
I think Slaughter the Strong's a little bit too narrow. I think the big part of the fact that Slaughter the Strong misses Rekindling Phoenix, although I guess Rekindling Phoenix recovers for most sweepers, so maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe that doesn't matter. I appreciate the gumption of our current opponent. They are having none of this give up or surrender nonsense. They are in it for the long haul. Maybe I'm supposed to exile both their red sources there and just like Clarion their goblin. can see that being right. We're going to exile 2 things a turn, though, so we're probably good to go here. You're not wrong. The Bant Defenders deck Slaughter the Strong is really funny in. Opponents had enough. They understand where this game is going, and it is not in a place that's good for them. Cleansing Nova sounds great. Lyra sounds like a good blocker. Lava Coil sounds wonderful. I want to trim the counter spells. It didn't flip because it doesn't flip until there's 5 different converted mana costs under it. I think I keep this because it kills Carnage Tyrant. This card also kills Carnage Tyrant in a roundabout way because it teams up with its good friend Deafening Clarion here to do so that sounds wonderful. I think, good God bless him for running Zerta Goblin. Easy mulligan here. No second land. Man, past Jeff or whichever mod created that command is kind of on point for the question at hand. That's like super relevant. Agree with the past command on Slaughter the Strong. Unless you're playing something like the Walls deck, Slaughter the Strong's probably not great. Rhythm of the Wild's actually kind of scary for us. It also makes this Ionize no longer useful, but I guess Azure Gateway's good there because it just gets to loot through it. Why did Jeskai control completely disappear from the ladder? Because, Esper control is kind of like the de facto best control deck in the format. The power of Mortify is really strong. Being able to answer troublesome enchantments game 1 in your control deck's a big deal. Having flexible answers tends to make it the better control deck on average. I don't think Jeskai's like unplayable by any means, but I do think it tends to be worse than Esper in a lot of situations. The place Jeskai really shines where Esper can't is in the fact that Jeskai control is able to be a lot more proactive than Esper could ever dream of being. We're about to get hit by a hasty Carnage Tyrant here, and it's not going to be pretty. Thought Erasure is also very good. Concur with that. And the fact that we're at 10 now and all their creatures have haste is kinda rough. Don't play another Carnage Tyrant, just a Lightning Strike. Deal. Alright, so I think I'm actually gonna Teferi tuck this Rhythm, because tucking the Rhythm buys me a lot of time. Means their other things won't have haste. It also means they have to redraw Rhythm of the Wild here sometime soon. I was gonna say, feels bad if they draw a burn spell, but JK, LOL.
Really should have seen that coming. Let's skip to the good part.
This is probably a game where I want to get this flipped over.
No time for a break.
That is phenomenal. It probably means I want to tuck the Cleansing Nova here soon. So there's 1, 2, 3 card costs under here. This is 4, so this will flip next turn.
Hold that thought.
Wow, that's bad. Yikes. I think I go to 17 here. Maybe I'm supposed to wait just because... This is kind of a worst case scenario. So this hits me and they crack the seal away. Maybe I should have kept one of those seal aways because they have this.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
JK, we fine. We fine, chat. We fine. Don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. And you know what? I'm a giver, so I'm gonna let them draw the cards. It's the least I can do. So that's the least we can do, chat. We're gonna kill them. We might as well let them draw 22 cards. Well. Listen to all those bad things you hear about me. I'm a giver. Giving out presents here in the constructed event. This is a little awkward. I think I keep this at 6. Hope to scry into a red source. Janky artifacts rise up. With our powers combined. Perfect. Never didn't have it. Oh, I could have made a lot more mana at end of turn, you're right. Uh-oh. Smells like Wilderness Reclamation. I wonder how this matchup goes. We don't have that many counterspells in our main deck. They are 4-color Reclamation. All right. Are they splashing Teferi? I would like to fork your divination, please. Expansion to Reclamation. Yikes. Really want an Azure Gateway so we can start putting these things away. Woof. Like, not only are we bricking on lands, but we're drawing, like, all spells that just don't have text boxes in this matchup. They have Settle the Wreckage in their deck. So they are not just a little bit white. They have, like, double white cards. That's interesting. We might not be getting another turn, chat. Confirms the Teferi that we suspected. You make a copy of Nexus. Who gets a turn first? The person who originally had the Nexus, because theirs resolve second. You also can't expansion Nexus of Fate though, because there's only copies cards that cost 4 or less. So there aren't any cards in standard. I don't think that copy it from an opposing Nexus. If they take cast Nexus of Fate here, I'm gonna concede. Them taking. Usually, you want to concede about the time they start generating card advantage while they take extra turns. We're actually just dead regardless here. I'm just like waiting to see what other cards they might have in their deck. Yeah, good enough. Probably because this is harder to flip, Greg. I would assume the answer is because this is harder to flip. This explicitly says it untaps itself. Seems pretty reasonable, easy in, easy out. Yeah, reading the card explains the card. Gets you every time. Yeah, I took Greg's question to be more of a design question than a why does this functionally do it in regards to the rules. And I think the reason why design-wise this untaps where treasure map doesn't is because this is so much harder to flip. And someone else commented like, if this didn't untap the turn you did it, like it would just be it's already close to unplayable. And, like, it would just be so much worse if you didn't get it right away. Because, like, this takes a minimum of 5 turns to flip, and it doesn't guaranteed flip in 5, whereas Treasure Map guaranteed flips in 3. No, there's basically no info about the new format. Oh, Magic's a game. Magic's a game, chat. Magic's a game. Holy crap, I didn't realize there were 27 lands in this deck. That's so many. Do dual cards count as 2? They do not. So this counts as converted mana cost 6. For the purposes of being underneath here. That's really funny. Teferi does a voice line when you tuck him. I think I want to just aggressively try to flip this. He said, you just let me know when you want to go for round 2. Yeah, if the artifact flips, we'll kill them with Banefire. Alright. Okay. Alrighty, chat. Alrighty. Y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? So I can use my mana in such that we cast a giant explosion and have triple counterspell up still, right? Oh, you know what? I probably should have done this during their upkeep. Alright, so 23. And this is gonna do these. And then I need to leave 3. I need to leave 8 floating here. So this is 25, 28, so I can do this for X is 16. I'm gonna do this for X is 16. Right? 16. So I have 25, 28, I want 8 for these 3. If this resolves for 16, I'll draw something that deals the last 2. Oh, Ionize also deals the last 2. Yeah, that's true. So they need a Spell Pierce here. They need a 2-mana counter plus a Spell Pierce to not die. And even if that happens, I get to untap and invoke the Divine their search plus play Niv-Mizzet. So I'm still ahead, even if they have counter plus Spell Pierce here. Alright, alright. For starting by missing a bunch of land drops in our 27 land deck, that was quite the explosive finish there. That was quite the explosive finish. It was an incredibly sweet game of Magic, I agree. So I'm actually going to trim this Cleansing Nova and board in a Clarion, so that way I have a 3 in my deck that I don't mind tucking under Gateway. When the Nexus opponent concedes to save time, right? And I'm actually going to cut this and leave this other in so I have 5s to put under there. Just like split my CMCs up a little bit so we have a better chance to flip that over ASAP. This deck probably doesn't have a terrible matchup here, just because our win condition, as you saw there, can be instant speed. So if we find a Gateway early, we get a lot of great selection. Yeet for lethal? Get it? Alright, they mulled to 6 and scribed top. Look at that. There's my gateway. There's my gateway. Do I YOLO the gateway? Do I YOLO the gateway? I feel like I do. This does let them spiral into... It lets them spiral into Nexus, but I think I want to just get the gateway down. Baby Crisis, huh? Perfect. I think I just do this to keep my health total high. That they hit me with that a couple of times. The gateway gets worse when it eventually flips. We kind of needed the 23 mana from it last game. Hopefully they tap out for something else again here, and then we get to untap and jam this this Teferi into play. I know this deck is jank, but I love it. Glad I got to see the fun part of it at least once. Thanks for the bits, Ben Faith. Yeah, it's doing some neat things. Cordelli, thank you for the Twitch Prime support. I think we're actually, if we win this, we'll actually be 3-0. We won the first 2 matches if you didn't catch them earlier. We had some good games. We won them as more, that was the first time we'd, like, Hadoken someone, but we won them as a more traditional control deck earlier. Man, am I just getting rid of another Niv? Like, I'm still 2 lands away from casting him, right? And I don't even really want to tap out for him. It feels bad to not get a bunch of different converted mana costs under here, but I think it's right to spread it out. This might be wrong. This might be wrong. The fact that it worked is so very good for us, though. Land here is an absurd draw. Want to keep hitting all of those. Yeah, just in these matchups where we really need a specific subset of cards, like, the fact that this just gets to sit here and, like, filter our draws is a big deal. That honestly is probably the game here, especially drawing another counterspell.
Keep up the pace.
Keep up the pace. I'm gonna go ahead and activate this so we can untap our land with Teferi. Tuck a land under there as another different converted mana cost. So there's 2 CMCs under here now. Wow. Woof. So there's 2 Cleansing Novas in my deck, right? Do I just Explosion for 2? I think I Explosion for 2. No, I left 2 Cleansing Novas in, though.
No time for a break.
Any reason you don't play Pelt Collector and Girl Aggro? Yeah, I prefer the bigger build. Prefer to be more interactive. That's incredibly unfortunate. Yeah, someone else commented we've seen a lot of Carnage Shard in the last couple days. The reason for that is the constructed queues. Like, if you look at the decks we play against in the constructed queues, there's a lot more off-meta decks. So, seeing cards that, like, aren't popular in the good decks in the format in the queue where there's less decks that are playing the popular decks in the format makes a lot of sense. There are some stock tier decks in this queue, but I think there's definitely less than, like, when we're playing, like, in the Mythic section of the ladder. There's 3 different converted mana costs under here, so we're still 2 away from this. which means this is going to get to hit us once or twice. The Teferi might get to, hey, look, a distraction the Carnage Tyrant for a turn, which would be nice. We do get 2 looks at a Cleansing Nova again next turn that I can play with protection up, so it depends on how good their hand is here. Is that true? There is 1 Carnage Tyrant main deck in each of the Sultai decks from the GP top 8. So I think saying 2 to 3 main deck is unrealistic, Be Rich. Oh, it's another Azure Gateway. Invoke the Divine puts a different CMC thing under here, so I'm only 1 CMC away from flipping that.
Let's skip to the good part.
Alright. Maybe that'll have text here. I guess worst case, this does mean that we get to flip the Gateway next turn. So if we find, like, a Banefire, Banefire's lethal next turn.
Of time.
That land lets them play Wilderness Reclamation around a Syncopate, but they also only have 2 cards left here. Hopefully they don't have a way to bounce this Azure Gateway if they had like Blink of an Eye or something like that. Do I bin the Chemister's Insight to flip the Gateway? I do have this other Gateway to, like, get another draw, but this Chemister's Insight is so many looks. Am I supposed to wait a turn? I think I'm supposed to draw cards, right? I think I'm supposed to keep the Insight. Woof. Woof. Well, I mean, I'm glad we kept Insight, right? Because, like, we definitely would have lost if we would have flipped. We would have never powered through these cards before the Carnage Tyrant killed us. Yeah, like, Banefire is still lethal if we get to... I forgot to... That's awkward. If they don't have a bounce spell here, they're dead. If they don't have a bounce spell here, they're dead. $22, $27. All right, 26 points of damage, please. Your face. You just want to overkill in case they have a bunch of absorbs or random health gain or whatever. Did you see them put Field of Rune into play in their 4-color deck at the end there? They growth spiraled into Field of Rune. The greed of some people really knows no bounds. All right, I'm gonna run to the restroom, and when I get back, we're gonna play another match with this deck because it's sweet. Thanks for hanging out, folks. I'll be right back. They boarded. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, definitely. You know, that's probably something that's underexplored in this format, is just sideboarding in Field of Ruin. It's probably something more decks could stand to do. That was excellent, though. I feel like we've really seen the range that this deck has had in this set of games, because, like, we won the first couple matches just being, like, a more traditional Jeskai control deck, and then there we got to combo kill. Hand's great. Do people really run to the bathroom when they say they're running to the restroom? I do, because the longer you're AFK while streaming, the more viewers you hemorrhage, so I move quickly. I just let this one resolve, and then, like, Shivan Fire it plus activate Gateway. Azure Gateway looking like it's going to be on loot through lands duty this game. Seen some lists stop running Chromium and Esper Control. Yeah, so the biggest problem with Chromium is that all he does is win the game. And in a deck like Esper, you'd really rather your win conditions double as utility cards, like, say, Teferi. The last time we played Esper Control on stream, I really liked the inclusion of, Kaya in the main deck as an alternative win condition that was, like, also a flexible card. Was one that had impressed me. Kaya helps you stay alive in the aggro matchups while also being a win condition in other places. So I binned the seal away here in the hope to flip this somewhat soon, but it could definitely be that against the Vivian Reed deck, that's a little ambitious. We're attacking me, so this is getting exiled, right? That's what that means. Attack me, that means there's some contempt in my future, yep. Yeah, Expansion Explosion has a converted mana cost of 6 underneath here.
We will meet again.
Ionize is an awesome draw here. So I have 0, 2, 3. This will be 5. And then next turn, if I hit another converted mana cost of my next 3 draws, I get to flip this over and then do the big explosion thing again. Let's let this resolve. What are the merits of Gateway over Contempting the Squire there? Yeah, I don't care about the 2-3 chalky, and this explosion, once I flip this Gateway, is going to kill them. I already have a 2 under there. I already have a 3. Do I get greedy? How greedy do I want to be? Do I want to ditch the Cleansing Nova and hope to flip this? Yeah, they left a cast down on top for some reason. I'm going to ditch the Cleansing Nova and hope to flip this, I think. I already have a 0 under here, don't I? Yeah, I needed a 4. I could flip it with the expansion explosion, but then I lose my X spell. Maybe that's worth it, just because it lets me play the other gateway out. Yeah, I think that's actually worth it. This greed is absurd. Don't you tell me how to live my life, Punchworthy. I just wanted to do the thing. Should you tell me that doing the thing is wrong? Alright, this is -7 mana. I do feel like these probably should have been absorbs. We'd be better off if we had absorbed by a pretty significant margin. Yeah, absorb turns into more mana. Yikes. Yikes. I thought you wanted an X spell. Oh, it's funny because it's true. All right, we get two more. We get 2 more draws at a Clarion or another thing. Oh no! Oh no! It's 1 turn too late, chat. It's 1 turn too late. Like the one we put under the gateway? Yeah. Yeah, or that Deafening Clarion that we put under the gateway. We don't have enough viewers to enable streamer draws today. It's unfortunate. All right, so we need to leave enough to cast the Clarion. So we can draw 3 here. Right, this is 7 mana altogether. And I'm gonna hit them, so I need to draw Clarion or I'm dead anyways. Alrighty, well so, I would like the record to reflect that I am aware we probably would have won that game if I hadn't gone all in on the greed plan. I am aware that my decisions led me to the place where that game ended, but I would also like the record to reflect that I have no regrets. Would also like the record to reflect that there are no regrets. Alright, I want these Lava Coils. I'm going to trim a Clarion. This many Ionize is probably unnecessary. Let's try this. Listen, chat, we started 3-0 in this set with this deck, so we've already made 500 gold in this one. So if I want to try my best to flip my Azure Gateway, I'm going to try my best to flip the Azure Gateway, okay? Nice duress. Here's my pair of gateways. I did win the Gateway flip minigame. That is just the truth. You think the fact that they took the first one means there's like a trophy in my future? Kite Sail Freebooter. That is an interesting inclusion. It's actually pretty good that we drew a second counter here. I say this gamble could have missed, but they have a lot of planeswalkers. I'm gonna hit the gateway, because if we hit like a land like this, I tuck the Syncopate, and then they have to discard the Insight, which seems fine for us. They do have Walker into Jadelight here. It looks like my opponent's just playing straight green-black, which is kind of interesting. We probably just Chemister's Insight this turn, rather than Gateway. I assume we'll see this go away unless this is an Explorer creature. So we're taking 4 on this combat step here. That was not the Cleansing Nova I wanted for Christmas, unfortunately. Mr. Snack, thanks for checking in for the 6th month. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm taking 7 here, down to 8, which is pretty rough. If we hit a Cleansing Nova, we can expansion it, well, Cleansing Nova, we don't have to expansion. I mean, if we hit Deafening Clarion, we could expansion it. Now, they do have this here Doom Whisperer, which kills us relatively quickly.
Let's tear this place apart.
The Electrodominance has been kind of silly. I don't think it really does much. Alright, so I think I actually Explosion the Vivian for 2 here. This lets them stick the demon, but the Vivian's gonna bury us if we don't kill it right away, and it gives us a couple of draws to, like, hit things to answer the demon. Banefire. Banefire is actually a demon answer here, because we get to shock and then Banefire it for 6. That is also a demon answer. Now, they are at 26, which does mean they didn't Demonic Tutor. Weird. Do they already have an answer to Teferi in their hand? They must have had an answer to Teferi in their hand already, right? That is actually the worst case scenario for us there, because that is a threat. That's also an answer that's also a threat. Cassie, quick question. Do you still feel Bant Flash is a reasonable deck to play to the higher tiers of the ladder, or is it not quite good enough? I honestly don't know if that deck's good enough anymore, Cassie. It's been a while since I played it, though, so I don't know that I have a super informed position to take on it. I think I just have to do this for 4 to gas up here. Yeah, really unfortunate that, like if their last card had just been, like, of Vraska's Contempt, we'd have been more... Sometimes it's just not meant to be, chat. Sometimes I kind of threw the first game in a trash can, but I'm not sure if there was much we could do here. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. Does that get us through here? That might pull us kicking and screaming across the finish line. So this tucks the Eldest Reborn in. And then, like, if they plus Vivian, they go past it, they don't get it back. And I have Ionize and Disdainful Stroke. And I have Banefire. I have Banefire to hip check the Vivian. Yeah, it was I agree. That was the best draw on the deck. Not close.
The wilds are my shield.
Oh, I should have counted. So how much mana do I have? I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be 10. So oh.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I think I still just Banefire Viv here, huh? I think my Teferi's too important. Don't worry, Teferi. I'm never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never gonna run around or desert you. No, Teferi's gonna plus. I can use the Ionize. We good. Never gonna give you up. We've played the Bant Defenders deck with High Alert, Gendy. You can find the Bant Defenders deck, including High Alert and video of us playing it, on my website. Click Standard Decks at the top. Yeah, ripping the Teferi actually means we've stabilized here. I don't know that we're fully into garbage time yet. Like, a good series of draws could pull my opponent back into this game, but we are definitely ahead at the moment. You know, it's funny. I almost said Duress is their best draw here. I almost said Duress is their best draw. So this counters unless they pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So counter unless they pay 8. Too much. Dang it. Alright, so they get... Now, the tough part here is now the demon gets to surveil a bunch for them. Snack Size Biscuit, thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate it. So, we don't just need to beat the demon, but we need to beat one of the better cards in their deck coming off the top next turn. Is part of the issue. I think I'm gonna go Clarion Lava Coil here. I wanna hold on to the Shivan because it's an instant speed card. I think the sweeper effect is less valuable than the flexibility on the timing. So like they left a card on top and like Eldest Reborn's their best possible, but they've already been through 2. They were already through 2 of those. All right. One good dick punch deserves another. All right. We top decking, chat. We top decking. Gonna keep playing our lands here, because if we draw an Expansion Explosion, we get firmly ahead. How many of those have I cast this game? We're through 2... 3? Are we through 3? Oh, that's not good. We are through 3 Expansion Explosions. We're through 3 Expansion Explosions and 2 Teferis, so things are not looking fantastic for our hero. It's been a good game of Magic. Some strong swings. Do I still have Electro? I might have boarded that out. Electro's also just, like, not very good at the moment, just because I don't have enough lands for it to be lethal. Well, the fact that that's a 1/2 is really good for us. The deck overlay doesn't update correctly post-sideboard, I don't believe. Well, shoot. I probably should have been holding a land in the event that I draw a Gateway. It's also good with Chemister's Insight. Maybe I should have Shivan Fired this last turn. I probably should have Shivan Fired this last turn. That's an excellent draw, believe it or not. So now I'm going to 2 or Teferi's going to 1.
Don't make another move.
Don't make another move. Ooh, candy. Woo, buddy, draw 6. I love me a draw 6, chat. Love me a draw 6 in the morning.
We need to move quickly.
I'm not certain we actually have the tools. I'm not sure we can actually win the game. So there's 11 cards in my deck here. I think we might actually be incapable of flipping this Azure Gateway. Is Electrodominance in my deck? How much mana do I have? They might just be dead, right? I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
No time for a break.
Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Let's skip to the good part.
All right, they're actually, if they don't kill Teferi, they're actually dead to this next turn. So if they don't kill Teferi, they're dead next turn. Yeah, so we know the bottom 3 are lands. These are these 3 cards we don't know. Duress also gets us. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. You're about to die to freebooter, chat. We are about to die to freebooter. Yeah, Star loses Teferi though, and then we need to draw more lands is the issue. All right, what's our mystery card here?
Hold that thought.
It's another land. All right. I like, yeah, we don't. So these are all the spells we have left to work with. So I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So this is gonna take Expansion Explosion away here. But then I Star of Extinction them. The opponent has 25 cards left in their deck. Chat, they're at 16. It's okay. They're at 16. So if they just, we need them to draw a brick next turn. tuck himself before the star. That is an excellent idea. This has been quite the game of Magic the Gathering. This has been quite the game of Magic the Gathering. All right, go. Don't draw duress. Don't gain life. Don't draw duress. Don't gain life. Don't. No! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Teferi Tuck's not a win con, chat. No, we don't. But the Teferi's the bottom card of our deck, isn't it? Yeah, the Teferi's the bottom card of our deck. Would have been better to tuck it instead of using the star. Yes. Okay, so I punted. So if we would have tucked the freebooter instead of using the star, we'd have won that, right? Because they'd have ripped the other one. They wouldn't have been able to get it back with the Fine Broker. Okay, so I was a little bit too aggressive going for the flip plan game 1, and then game 2 we would have pulled it off by the skin of our teeth if I'd have tucked the freebooter instead of using the star. That's a good set of Magic, right? You know, a lot of good close decisions in there. This hand's excellent. Bit sale. The bits are on sale, Jensen. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. We're gonna play one more here with this deck before we move on to some Bant mid-range to wrap things up with today. The deck overlay where you click into the deck on the screen, that is inaccurate. It's bugged, and it's always been bugged, as far as I'm aware. The overlay doesn't update during sideboarding, basically. I'm just gonna be defensive with this and keep my health total high. You could have tucked with Teferi and then won on your upkeep. Yeah, that's true. That's true. If I like they draw Stone Cold Nothing to disrupt me, I could tuck with Teferi on my next upkeep. That's fair. I'm gonna shock this in. It's gonna let me, so that way I can gateway into an Ionize and use it. This is incredibly rude. The extra rude part about that is now, like, the cards that were under it don't count as being under it anymore. Because when cards change zones in Magic, they become a new instance of that card. So, like, these two CMCs that were under here no longer count as being under there.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
Yep.
Let's skip to the good part.
So I could just Chemisters here. I could also use the Teferi untap during my end step to Explosion for 4. That's probably worse than just double Chemisters. So I'm going to do this now during my main phase, so that way my Teferi can untap 2 of my lands here. So that way I get to Chemisters again on their end of turn. We're not using the Gateway because I assume my opponent's about to take it hostage.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
Really? Okay, this is good for us. Oh, maybe they don't have the 6th land to steal it and then play it right away. They might not have the 6th land yet. Probably gonna Cleansing Nova here, keep the board clear, and then we'll have Explosion next turn to keep the Vivian from ulting on us, or perhaps just a Teferi Tuck, depending on what we draw. Ionize is an excellent pickup here, because it means we get to defend, this from, we get to defend the gateway from the Hostage Taker, which is nice. Most people listen to music at the gym. I listen to Jeff at the gym. What's going on? Welcome back, Guard. I appreciate the support. Hey, listen, I watch a lot of YouTube stuff and Twitch at the gym too, believe it or not.
Balance comes.
So we are going to need to give Vivian a love tap next turn. It's a real shame this card can't hit Vivian. So once upon a time that was a real good thing to be able to do. If I draw another Teferi here, I might Teferi tuck her in. I'm glad we have this other Nova since they have Carnage Tyrant in hand. They have a Fine Finality here. They're mousing over their graveyard. Would not be too surprised to see a Find happen. Yep. I'm gonna put the tapped land underneath here. Syncopate, huh? So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then this makes 2 more. I could just tuck with Teferi and then plan to syncopate their Hostage Taker and get the gateway going. Then, like, build up extra card advantage with the expansion explosion in the long run. Twitch Prime does not have an automatic resub. If you're using a normal sub, a non-Prime sub, you can have it automatically redo. I think I just want to tuck this. I think I just need to tuck this.
You need to take a timeout.
Yeah, the question there that I'm taking on is, like, explosion that versus tucking it. This deck should probably just have a 4th Teferi in it, believe it or not. He's kind of just, like, the best thing to be doing in a lot of these positions. Alright, deal. Thanks, deck. I appreciate you, deck.
I know. We need to move quickly.
Syncopate's a great draw here as well. I think I could Syncopate unless they pay 5. So Vivian should be nice and counterable here. Yep. So it feels a little bit bad losing Teferi there, but that does mean that we don't have to worry about their Vivian at least anymore, which is nice. I already have a 3 under here. Do I want to do this? I guess I just Explosion for 5 this turn. I think I just Explosion for 5 this turn. And then they'll play Carnage Tyrant and I'll untap and Cleansing Nova. You've helped me a lot in the past 10 months. Was kicked out of college after freshman year because of grades, which followed a bad breakup. Appreciate everything you do. Well, thanks for being here, Gift Frog Monster. Hope things are on the upswing for you. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Is Explosion for 4 plus Gateway better? It might be, actually. It's a good question. I think you're right that might be better. Just to, like, try and get this going. So I don't have I have a 3 under here already, so I'm going to tuck the seal away this time, most likely. Disdainful Stroke's pretty useful on this board. This has 3 different CMCs under it. We're going to go ahead and Cleansing Nova here. So, unfortunately, all the CMCs that are in my hand already are already under here. Opponent feels like we are into garbage time. Alright. I guess with the Expansion Explosion in my hand, we're probably into garbage time there. It's probably not unreasonable. Oh, I could have double deafeninged and then put the Nova under there. That's very true. That's a good thing to point out. Thank you. The thinking about, like, what your sequencing is to try and maximize the converted mana cost under here is a little bit weird. It's different than different sequencing decisions. Nanari, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So Lava Coil seems good here. What else do I want to get rid of? I definitely want all my sweepers. Is Shivan Fire not good enough, maybe? Yeah, Banefire is probably a little mediocre. I'm gonna trim an extra 2. Let's do this. Nunnery D, thank you for the 2nd month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. This is fine. Not amazing, but fine. And post-board, I expect my opponent to have things like Duress in their deck, so I want to keep a wider range of hands. Gateway is excellent off the top here. If you just type cheer with the number next to it, Get Frog Monster, you'll be able to cheer in chat. Did Matt convince me to go to Cleveland? Nah, we haven't talked about it. It's probably not going to happen. Staying home and just streaming is, like, way better EV anyways. Christy will probably be happier if I skip it too, so I don't feel that strongly. This is fine. Probably just gonna Clarion to clean things up next turn. And I think this is currently on land filtration mode more so than this is gonna flip and do something like that mode. Yeah, having this bit of selection in a control deck definitely goes a long way. Definitely something that this archetype is, like, interested in doing as a whole. Find's a little bit annoying here. Like, it's not that bad, right? Like, it's a 2-for-1, but we 2-for-1'd them, so it's like 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. And, like, I have another Clarion next turn to, like, punch through. Yeah, land Planeswalker would have been a little bit bad for us. They have a Duress here. Beating Sultai as Blue-Red Drakes feels awesome. Thank you for the biddies, Monster. And actually, because of the way they sequenced here, I get to syncopate this for one, so sign me up. Get out of my hand. Out! Out! Ooh. Ooh. How is this deck going? This deck's been a lot of fun, Y2K. I think this is my deck of the day so far. I need to go back and look at everything to confirm, but I think this is my deck of the day at the moment. Ionize means we want our land to be untapped here, so we can hold that up. Like, we've played a lot of what I would call good games of Magic. There's been a lot of decision points and a lot of back and forth. I think I'm going to start working towards flipping this with double expansion explosion in my hand. It says 2 things under it. I think expansion was better there. Get rid of the contempt. They just contempt me in response, Hobbs. I think at that point you're just a bad Phoenix deck. Cheering is difficult though, I agree. Slows down nonsense typing by a significant margin. Alright, so I think the fact that there's a stroke on top of their deck here. Yeah, I think I just explode this for 4. Since I know there's a stroke coming. Just like eliminate some of their pressure and draw some cards. Is there other card a counterspell? Man, that's brutal. Woof. Yeah, I think we're, oh, well. Alright, just when you think you're out, they suck you right back in, chat. Just when you're out. Brick on a land, 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 brick on a land. We're probably dead here, right? I need to draw like exactly Lava Coil. That's fine. We get to take game 3 on the play, right? Yeah, I guess if I draw, oh. If I draw, oh. Woof. Do I want some negates in this matchup? Maybe. I think I want more negates, more sweepers, less seal away. Let's give this a try. Too many disdainful strokes on the dance floor there. Billiam, thank you for the 6 months. I appreciate the half a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Seems like nothing to write home about, but it's definitely in the range of keepable. Needs a few lands to smooth things out, maybe. Alright, let's draw lands for the next 3 turns, please. It's mono land drops from here on out. That is a little bit more tapped than I was hoping the land would be, but beggars won't be choosers. Thank you. Thank you, Glacial Fortress. We appreciate your service. Man, look how unlucky my opponent is. Has to discard the hand size. Pretty unlucky. The Ionizes has been consistently worse than Absorb would be. Like that's just like not the access we want. We want to be working on. The life total increase would be good basically every time we've played it. Yeah, alright, go ahead and wrap this up.
Would you like to see what's left of us?
Look at that. Making money. This deck was a lot of fun. I think we went 3-2. One of the first loss I threw in a garbage can. Made 2 pretty big mistakes, but there was an excellent match of Magic. I think my comments overall on the deck list would be as follows. Not playing 4 Teferi is silly. Put a 4th Teferi in the deck. This card seems like some hot nonsense. Not quite sure why we're playing that. I guess it's technically a win condition, but I think if I wanted something like that, I'd rather just play Banefire. Absorb is much better than Ionize. The rest of it seemed pretty reasonable. Did I have any thoughts on the sideboard? I think this was fine. If you're looking for a kind of fun control deck, we got to Gateway plus Explosion for like double digits a couple of times. That was a real good time. I'm gonna move along to next step.